rust is symbolic because things that rust are things that are neglected, abandoned, things that are no longer used, rust. So when you look around the city of Philadelphia or any urban environment, you're going to see the rust of society, the areas that are no longer used, a place that once was beautiful now is neglected and wasting away.
The building is an example of a building which I would call a house in need of help. There are such a large number of them, you really couldn't even put a number on it in our city in Philadelphia. And this is not what I would call an abandoned building. This building has an owner, and the owner is visible. He's just not willing to sell it at a price that most people can afford. So it's been sitting here for quite a long time. And this is very typical of the problems that we have in all major cities. For one reason, whether it be the local government, whether it be an abandoned owner, or whether the owner is unwilling to sell it at a decent price, these buildings will sit and sit and sit, and they become a real problem. Some of them come to the point where they have crime inside them. Some of them get to the point where they're no longer sellable. Looks like part of a door.
Looks like it.
I think we should keep a hinge on it.
In the summer of 2011, Andy and I got together and started planning a collaborative project where we would both put our ideas together and create something that dealt with urban renewal and reusing materials.
We started by doing drawings. I was working on SketchUp and Photoshop, trying to figure out different ideas and making little models, and he was doing drawings.
We kept passing them back and forth until we got a solid idea. Once we had that, then we created a to-scale model that we could use to promote and to work on getting the space to use.
The model really mimicked the materials that we were using, and that's what was the cool thing about it.
In the fall of 2011, we started construction. We were collecting materials all over Philadelphia and all over the Harrisburg area, glass bottles and all, and started testing and building parts of the Rust project. Bottles were collected and fused together in a ceramic kiln and then framed with wood that we found and made into the windows that you see in the project.
And Andy collected these bottles for a long time. We started to figure out how we were going to do the skin of the project, which was going to use slag cement. So we were doing this all at the same time. We were also putting together the clay tiles.
The clay tiles it's a laser decal process where with a special paper you print the images on with a laser printer. Then the images come off of the paper, are put onto ceramic tiles and fired. The iron oxide that is in the toner of the laser printer, it permanently adheres to the tile, and then you're given this sepia kind of image.
All that we're doing is really about urban imagery, and the kind of things you see in your street, the bottles that we throw away, the images of thrown away buildings, all are what become part of Rust and pieced together.
In the summer of 2012, we really began constructing the major part of the building in my backyard in Harrisburg. We built many of the arches, put it together, and we're getting it ready to move to Philadelphia. We wanted as much together before we moved so it would be easy to construct there. We tested a few concrete slabs. You can see one there in the corner to see what it would look like. And then once we had that, we tore it apart, put it in a truck, and shipped it off to Philadelphia.
Here you have Andy we're both checking out where we're going to place the piece. It's on South Broad Street in Philadelphia. Then we started unpacking and building the arches. That was the first thing we did, building the arches.
As soon as we started putting it together, people started to come from the community asking what we were doing, really inquiring what this weird structure was we were putting together.
And this was all done, the arches were all done, completed in one day. We brought it from Harrisburg and built all the arches in one day.
Rebuilt it all in a day, right. Once we had that, the next day we started mixing up concrete and started building the skin of the structure. People from the community came to help. People we invited to come, and then Andy and I both put together many of the panels as well.
You can think of it young and old. We had all different types of people, and we had artists helping us do this project.
The roof of the structure, we used this green roof. It's a product that's used throughout the country to put on top of the roof of urban areas. It's a real hardy plant that can take the cold weather, dry weather, and we use that to kind of give life to the structure.
It's a living roof, and it's going to be recycled over and over again. We've had a lot of requests for living roof. Here we have the mixing of the cement and creating the cement collages.
This is the last box. Just want you to know how excited I am to be finishing the last constructed part of the rust project. After how many months of working long hours in the heat and sun, this is the last one, and I'm about to put the last piece on. This is an important moment. So it's been over a year, and we finally finished Rust 1, 2, and we're getting ready for Rust 3.
This is where it really all started, especially this summer. Past summer, we spent so much time here building the arches, the windows, and the clay tiles, and getting all those wooden boxes together.
But the whole point was to make something special, to take things that are normally thrown away and make something beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, to me it was a very special project for the amount of materials that we were able to use. Almost everything in it was recycled.